Good evening, everybody. We're going to give everybody a couple of minutes to jump in. We are streaming tonight through YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and of course, our studio, Riverside. And y'all may or may not see Yang slide in and out. It looks like she may be having some technical difficulties. All right. We're just going to give Yang another second to come back in.
I'm back.
There she is. So if her video comes in and out, when you're traveling and as busy as we are, we can't always help those things. So
Right.
if the video freezes, hopefully it comes back. If not, you see her beautiful face anyways. So give her a little bit of time as her stuff comes in and out. But we're going to go ahead and start with our disclosure as always. We make sure we play this at the beginning of every single call because we want to make sure it's the best thing that you hear. So we're going to go ahead and start the disclosure now.
Ying Yang the podcast does not own rights to any background music or noise you may hear. This podcast is completely opinion based and may include adult content, adult language, and verbiage not suitable for any underage viewers. Information found in this podcast may not contain exact accuracy as it is opinion based. Please listen at your own risk.
All right. So now that we got the podcast disclosure done, we're going to go ahead and move on from that. Now, I've gotten a lot of questions about when we're going to be back on TikTok. So we took a break from TikTok just for the month of December while we get a few things in order. And we will be live back on TikTok with our January 6th episode, which is our first episode next year. So you'll be able to see that. Um, we're going to go ahead and kick off the beginning of our podcast with the history of Christmas. Who knows the history of Christmas? Anybody?
Uh, I don't know
All
much.
right, no problem. So, with that being said, the history of Christmas is kind of controversial, but isn't that like everything in today's society kind of controversial? So these celebrations commemorated Christ's birth, Christ's Mass, Christmas. So, in the first recorded Christmas was in England in 1038, 1038. I don't know how you would say things. We say 2023, so maybe they said 1038. Maybe they didn't count the numbers of the years back then, but 1038. So, but also, like early celebrations of Christmas are thought to have derived from Roman and other European festivals that mark the end of the harvest and the winter solstice. So, with that being said, Christmas for a lot of people means a lot of different things. It is considered a religious holiday for some. For some, it is just a holiday get together with their family and something that they enjoy and they want to do. Um, so, for me, I am not your super religious type. However, I believe. And so it's a mix of both for me. Oh, sorry. Y'all see my shirt? It's notorious. I found this shirt out when I went out last weekend and I had to have it for this episode. So it's notorious. All right, moving on.
That's cute.
So for me, Christmas is not just it's not just a holiday. Because there's so many traditions that families build into these things, and as you get older those traditions change, and it can become hard sometimes when those traditions change, and it can be hard sometimes when you grow out of those traditions. One of my favorite traditions growing up was that our entire family would go to the Festival of Lights for Christmas. And what the Festival of Lights is how do I explain this? So it's a very large park. It's James Island County Park in Charleston, South Carolina, and it's a huge park. And they decorate, all these different businesses contribute and decorate every year this big design, and we would drive through it every Christmas Eve and get out and go have hot cocoa and go make s'mores over the fire and walk around Christmas land. It always was my favorite thing to do with my family. And as you get older, I personally was the first person in my family to move away, and I came back most years for that, but then after I got married to my ex-husband, I had no longer came back for those kinds of traditions. So I had to start creating my own traditions. So the biggest thing about Christmas traditions is the fact that it's something that you create with your family. Um, that was just one of our biggest Christmas traditions. We also did a million other little things and tried to even make new traditions, but it didn't always work. The Festival of Lights was just kind of our thing. In fact, my little sister was proposed there. So, like, our family, that was the tradition. This year, however, me and my mother live out 5 hours away from there. So, we are going to start making new traditions. Sheena, does your family have any traditions that y'all did like every Christmas Eve or every Christmas?
Not really. I mean, we had to wait until, you know, everybody got up to open up all our presents at one time, but we really didn't have no traditions. We were just, together.
Did y'all like open up did y'all open like a one present the night before? We did that. That's why I asked.
I didn't do nothing like that. Like, we kind of like, again, I remember us like trying to, set out the cookies and milk thing, and we was always the one trying to stay up to see if we can actually. We knew there was no Santa, so got caught, ran off the bed. They told us to go to bed because we got up late. But you know, just that we ain't had no set in stone traditions. We just did stuff differently every year.
Was that you and both of your brothers that used to try to stay up and catch Santa, or was it just like a couple of you? Or
Yeah, no, it was just me and my younger brother. We were kids, so we was always rebellious.
I love it. I remember, and I don't want to say which one of my siblings it was, but one of my siblings was really upset about the fact that my parents allowed Santa to break into our house every year. Um, because she was like, "Listen, he came through the chimney supposedly, and we don't even have a fireplace here. So you told me." I think my parents told her that we left the back door unlocked for him, and so she was really uncomfortable with that. We're just leaving our back door open for some man to break in. um, so we didn't really like talk about Santa a lot, but there was one rule in my house, and I don't know if everybody had this rule, but if you don't believe in Santa, then you don't get presents from Santa. And that was always like the rule in our house. So if you said you don't believe in Santa, you no longer get Santa presents. You get mom and dad presents. So, how old were you when you found out about Santa?
I was, I think it was like 8 or 9, maybe.
That's a logical age.
Yeah,
How did you find out?
you know what? I quite don't really remember, but I think you know how we kids talk. One friend tell you, there's no Santa, then another friend, y'all all talking about it, and then you go back and ask your parents and they don't deny it. So something like that. I don't remember all of the details, but something along that line.
So I actually think that my little sister found out before I did because she asked my dad flat out. And she was a realist, and so I guess he told her. And then I actually still believed that Christmas, but then Easter came around and our parents had gotten us a puppy. And my neighbor told me, "Hey, the Easter bunny's not real." And I was like, "Yeah, huh? The Easter bunny brought me a puppy." And he was like, "No, I saw your mama's friend get out and bring that puppy in the house at 11 o'clock last night." And so I
Wow.
was like super embarrassed. And I was like, "Well, is the tooth fairy real?" And he was like, "No."
Tooth
And
fairies
my
not.
little heart was broken. My little heart was broken. I was like, "The Easter bunny, the tooth fairy, not real." And then I kind of looked at him and he was like, "Santa not real either." And it broke my heart. It broke my spirits. Listen, if nobody would have just flat out told me like that, I'd have believed in Santa until the day I died because I needed that magic of my life.
Oh wow. You know what? I am the complete opposite. Like, no, Santa's not gonna get all this credit
So
for
does Adam believe? Did Adam ever believe in Santa then?
when he was younger. I cut that. You know what? I cut that shit off real early because it was one Christmas. He was like really upset. Stayed up late wrapping all of these I brought, and I put from Santa on everything. And like, mommy, you ain't buy me nothing. And I was like, you know what? From now on, Santa gets no credit because I bust my ass and buy all of these presents. I'm just going along with the can't break your, childhood spirit, saying it's from Santa, and he was upset that I didn't buy him anything. So you know what? From now on, you're gonna know what I brought you. It came from out of mommy's pockets. From now on. So yeah, he doesn't anymore.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's a little old to believe in Santa now. However, do you know what age you finally kind of told him, like, "Hey, this is all my work. This is all my efforts being put in"?
John, he was like 5. I killed his spirit. Yeah, he was young. He was
Okay.
like 5.
Do you ever feel do you ever feel like maybe you should have let him believe more, or was that a decision based on other decisions or just based on what you had going on?
I don't feel guilty and I have no regrets about it. Like my whole thing is like you need to have a reality of life, and some things I just don't show. It's just one of them. Like I'm at the time I was like big into Christmas. He was upset about I believe in Santa and it got to be Christmas. It's not. No, I'm like you know don't want to sugarcoat things because this is life. I don't want him to go out and he expecting one thing and it's not the realest. So yeah, I'm real with him about everything. Like he doesn't know.
But you don't feel like that messed with like his imagination or because a lot of kids go through that. They don't learn till, like you said, like a little bit older, like 8 or 9. But you don't feel like taking that childhood part away affected him at all?
You know, he still has his games. He his movie. He knows make believe, but I just don't think that it should that make believe crosses a line into reality. So make believe like cartoons and Disney movies, okay, nation there, but when it comes to like made up traditions or made up stuff, no, I don't waste time. Like, I don't feel like, you know, he should have not that he should have imagination, but not dwell on that.
Well, and I only ask because and the only reason it surprised me at all is you're a writer. So you know how big and important the imagination is for creativity. So that's the only reason I was asking. I wasn't trying to say that I think it was wrong or right. I don't have kids, so I don't know the
Oh
answers.
no, yeah,
I don't know nothing about that.
no, I was just trying to explain my reasoning, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, I understand where you're coming from, like, killing his spirit, but I'm just like didn't want to sugarcoat that or have him go through life. I just didn't have the time really or the energy to sugarcoat something that's make believe, like Santa and the Tooth Fairy. It was after his dad died, and I was just like not in a place to put energy in and shit like that was like make believe, that type of thing. So yeah, I probably cut out some of his creativity and imagination. I just didn't have the energy for it.
Right. Sorry, y'all. I was blocking someone that's putting random comments into our Facebook Live.
Oh
I don't know if
no,
that's a
don't do that.
link or what. It's a different language, so I just blocked it out. So hopefully that go ahead and removes itself. Um, but as we're talking, I'm removing it also. So
Cool,
um,
cool, cool.
in fact, let's go ahead and move that. All right, comments gone. All right. So, okay, well, so in that I understand where you're coming from because I'm a realist. I don't even want to say I'm a realist. I'm an opportunist. Um, so I feel like believing the things and using my imagination as long as I did as a child definitely helped me. It definitely made me with my creativity, but I can also see why, especially in your circumstances and how hard you work to make sure the ends always met, why you would make the decision to tell him at a younger age like, "Hey, this isn't some imaginary guy that's coming in and doing this. This is your mommy working her butt off to take care of you and show you that I
Yeah,
love you."
right.
Yeah, no, I
Like I said,
completely
yeah.
understand.
Yeah, that's where I
Um,
was. Like, I'm a true realist at heart, but I was my place was like, listen, I'm, busting my butt trying to do everything, keep a roof over the head, food, and buy Christmas, and you're upset because, I put the from Santa instead of for mommy, so I nipped that in the bud because, like I said, it was after his dad died, and listen, I'm working too hard trying to code it together, so this Santa Claus is not gonna get credit. Sorry, not
Right,
sorry.
no, that's yeah, no, and that's I completely understand the place that you were and I'll say that because I know you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I will say that statistically, they say that like telling them younger can affect their creativity and imagination more as they get older. But
I don't
I
believe that
personally
though.
see, I don't want to say I don't believe that, and I say that only because like I know Adam. Um, and he does have a very creative mind, a very creative mind.
Yeah.
But I don't think he has the same imagination that other kids his age have. But I think that's because he sees the reality and the big picture. I
Yeah.
don't think it's a bad trait. I don't think it's a bad trait at all. I think that Adam's one of the most well versatile and intelligent people that I know for his age. So Um, no, I definitely don't think it's a problem at all. But I do think that he he's super creative. So it definitely doesn't affect his creative abilities whatsoever as a person. I've seen a lot of the creativity that comes from Adam and it's phenomenal. So as
Yeah.
far as someone saying that telling them that young affects their creativity, they're absolutely wrong. And Adam's proof of that.
I'm just about to say he is so proof of that because he has that. your mind, like with graphics art and his schooling, he's AB student. So yeah, I don't fully believe that because
All right. It looks like Yang may be having a little bit of difficulties again. Um,
yeah, I moved to a different spot, but it seems like, I'm hanging in there. You hear me now?
yeah, yeah, and we can see you. It just keeps freezing and then it keeps throwing you out. So everyone knows you're having technical difficulties. I just knew that you were in the middle of a sentence and I didn't want it to sound like we were crazy. So, because I was like, wait,
Yeah,
she was in the middle of a sentence and it threw her out. But
right. And I only had like 2 words left that I was saying as it was kicking me out, but I was saying proof that you don't agree because proof that his creativity wasn't shot. He's a great kid.
um so I only wonder, and we don't know this because you had your one and done. So we
Yeah,
don't have another kid to bounce it off of, but I wonder if the second kid would have been the same or if Adam's just like the exception to the rule. You know what I mean? Because he is really smart.
right.
So I feel like maybe he's the exception to the rule and not the rule, but that still it makes it very confusing because they don't tell you, oh, hey, if your kid is in a higher intellectual level than these children, then you should tell them earlier. They're just like, don't tell them until they're like 8, 9. I
No,
think they actually
right.
tell you not to tell them until they're 11, and by 11, everybody knows.
Yeah. I'd rather him believe that only thing that I want him to believe in that he can't see is God above. And that make all the other stuff is but like I don't give it that much energy.
No, I understand. So, cool. Um, well, we're gonna move on to, and I don't know if you know any. I've just been like digging down this rabbit hole of crazy for the last week.
Yeah.
But do you know
See?
do you know any of these strange traditions that people do around the world for Christmas?
I know people go crazy around the world for Christmas and it drives me completely. Like I start and the older I get, the less my patience is. So I don't say I hate Christmas. I am annoyed um really and I can't tolerate Christmas music. Like if I disown you and cut you out my will Christmas music. I guess don't Ying, don't do it. I don't like Christmas.
So I actually am not a Christmas music fan. I
Good.
absolutely hate the Mariah
I hate.
Carey Christmas stuff.
Oh my god.
Um, well, with that being said, let me just say that the last question of tonight was actually going to be, but we're going to ask it now. Are you a Christmas fan or a Christmas Scrooge?
I'm a Scrooge because I've been called a Grinch. Be like I'm a Scrooge because like I had last year called a Grinch by my coworkers because I fussed at them about playing Christmas music in the office. Like, no, this is not what we're about to do. Because I won't be here for 8 hours listening to this crap. No, we are not about to do this.
So I think I'm kind of a mix. And so let me say this, like I love Christmas parties. I love Christmas games. I even like to buy people things for Christmas. I don't like to receive Christmas gifts. I don't like to feel obligated to buy Christmas gifts, and I don't like, even though I love to give Christmas gifts, I don't like to feel obligated. Like, so if you got me something, I'm going to feel obligated to get you something. That's why I don't like to receive Christmas gifts.
Right.
Um,
I don't like none of it.
but but and I was saying this earlier as your like thing was going on and off, like you were getting thrown out and back in and thrown out and back in, about how like one of my biggest like fun times in life, like the one time I knew that all of my family, like my immediate family was going to get together was Christmas Eve. And so for me, most of my life, like that was the one day I knew I would get to see like my sisters and my mom and my dad. And so Christmas
Right.
Eve was always a really, really, really big deal to me. And we used to do like the same thing every year. We would go to the Christmas lights, we would roast marshmallows
Aw.
on the fire pit, we would go back to
So
the
you
house and we'd each
have
open
such
one
a,
present.
Christmas movie life type of growing up.
It's so funny that you say that. God, I wish my mom would get on this podcast. But I know she did. Um, but it's the only thing that was like really important to our family because it's the only tradition we ever created for ourselves and the only time we
Hmm.
knew. And I was the first one in my family to like mess it up. And I don't want to say mess it up because nobody blames me or says anything like that. But I moved away. You know, when I got married, I moved away with my ex husband. And he was more or less like, you know, it's time to create our own traditions. And I didn't go back to the Festival of Lights. And I'm not gonna lie, like it was really hard on me. I cried my eyes out the entire Christmas Eve because I just wanted to go down a trail. But it was a really far drive. So that's when I started missing Christmas Eve. And then of course, right after the end of my marriage, most of you know because of these podcasts that my father passed. So like
Hmm.
last year, my mother did get to go to the Christmas Eve lights with the family. And the year before that, my little sister was proposed to at it. It's just always been like a
Oh,
big staple in our family. So
that's so
this year, me
sweet.
and my mom are we're gonna start our own traditions now. Me and my mother out here in the mountains. We're gonna go ahead and get up in the morning and do us some baking and make a bunch of fun stuff that we haven't made before. See how it
Oh,
turns
mail me some
out, and that's
cookies.
how we're gonna start. Huh?
I said, mail me some cookies. But
All
that's the
right. Well, we're
only
gonna make
thing.
some homemade.
That's the only thing I like
Oh,
about Christmas is sugar cookies, the Christmas tree cookies. Other than that, you can keep everything Christmas. I don't want no parts of it.
you
But
talking
just
about
give
the
me the
Christmas
sugar
tree, little
cookies.
Debbie's?
No, I like those, but now I'm talking about the sugar cookies. They shape like Christmas trees, and they got the little sprinkles on it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. That they be making it like the Food Lions and the different
Yeah,
places like that.
yes. So I had let me. You want to hear something fun? Brought that's
Yes.
like I said. That's the only thing about Christmas I like is the cookies. So I brought me a whole tray of cookies, and they were my cookies. And Adam found the cookies. He took the cookies to school and shared all the cookies with his friends because he thought I wouldn't mind if he had cookies there. But he was like, he didn't mean to share them with his friends, but they just was asking him for cookies. Dude, you took a whole pack of cookies to school. Like, dude. So I was like, so I don't have no cookies? He was like, well, I'll buy you more cookies now because, like, those are my Christmas tree cookies. Like, oh. I was like, dude, like,
Listen,
okay, I'm glad you're
I just
sharing,
sent
but dang, not my
I just sent
cookies.
Adam a big old snack pack. I just sent him some Christmas cookies for himself.
Yeah, we got them, and I started eating them because he had, gave away my good cookies. So gosh, glad you're sharing, but not my cookies. Yeah.
Oh, that's actually hilarious. Oh, I'm crying. And y'all just really got to know Adam's personality. Adam is not like a little kid. He's a teenager. He's really tall. He's, buff. He can like walk by and swoop me up and just keep walking. This is a kid. This is a big kid, So it's one of those moments where like he doesn't mean to ever do anything wrong, and when he does, he
No.
apologizes. So it's one of those things where he's kind of like, I didn't mean to share them," and you just got to know him to know how he would tell his mom that he stole her Christmas cookies. Oh, that's too funny.
Yes, my one little piece of Christmas is gone. So yeah, if you bake cookies, remember little people who do not have cookies for Christmas.
Well, with that being said, I think that we're making zucchini bread and almond joy, like homemade almond joys, and some kind of oatmeal raisin bar. So I'm
Um.
not really making sugar cookies. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, my fans out there, remember me when you make sugar cookies in Christmas tree shapes. But
We'll shoot you the P.O. box to send them to.
I
You gonna
need
keep
I need
messing around.
cookies for
See,
Christmas.
Yang's gonna mess around and she gonna have all kind of cookies in her P.O. box. So
Yes.
that's
I
too
mean, mine
funny.
was only from Walmart, but still, they were my
Oh, I
cookies.
got a good question. I got a
What?
good question.
Okay, go ahead.
What was your favorite and least favorite Christmas present you ever got?
Ooh. My favorite was a doll. I remember when I was younger, it was like a Barbie doll, and I was so excited to get this doll. Then my dad was like, "Oh, you can't open it because it's a collector and you have to sit there in a box." How you gonna tell a kid that she can't open a doll? Okay, my bad. Trauma. I'm sorry. But
Oh.
that was my favorite, but
Oh.
as traumatic as it is, it was my favorite gift. Um, my least favorite gift, I received some clothes. I think, grandma, auntie, somebody gave me some socks and a sweater or some shit. And I was like, bruh, like, really? What I'm gonna do with more socks? I don't want socks for Christmas.
Yeah, that's never a fun gift.
Yeah, because like,
I
as a
had
kid, I didn't open up my gifts. It was only till I got older that when I started really hating Christmas. But as a kid, I was all for it. And I used to hate opening up gifts, and it was clothes. Like, I don't want clothes for Christmas. I want toys.
right. What kid wanted clothes for Christmas? It was just an excuse to have another present under the tree for clothes they had to buy you anyways.
Right.
Um, and I used to get mad when Santa brought me clothes. So I'd be like, "How does Santa know my size?" Like he's kind of creepy.
I can
Um,
I can see you asking more questions because you're very detailed and you research everything. You was like, I will have questions about this gift.
right, right. How does
What's
Santa know that
Santa's
I wanted
telephone
these pants
number?
from Walmart?
I have questions for Santa. Can we call him?
right. Listen, I wrote a letter to Santa every year.
Oh my god,
Every
no.
single year I wrote a letter, and I used to get really mad too because I didn't understand why Santa's letter was the only one that didn't have to have a stamp.
Because it went to your parents' bedroom.
Yeah, but I didn't know that. I didn't understand why how come Santa didn't have to have stamps, but I had to have a stamp to send a letter to my grandmother. I
Right.
used to be mad about that. But so
Oh
I had two
Lord.
favorite presents as a kid. My first one was a baby doll, and it was one of them baby dolls that you like fake fed milk to and then it peed.
Oh yeah, I had one of those.
So that I was real little when I wanted that. But then my next favorite was a Furby. Do you remember Furbies?
Yes, I remember Furbies. Yes. Tell my
Dance,
age, but yes,
boogie,
I remember
do do
Furbies.
do 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 do. Well, me and my little sister had gotten Furbies the same year, and anytime mine would go off in the middle of the night, hers would talk back. So, like in the middle of the night through the house, you would hear our Furbies communicating with each other and having random Furby parties from different
Oh
rooms.
wow.
And it used to drive my parents absolutely nuts. Like, it got to the point where we kinda thought they were possessed and put them in a closet. But that
I'm
was
gonna
when I
throw them in the
got it, it
trash.
was like listen, you
Oh
should throw them in the
Lord.
trash. Them things are crazy. And then my worst present so I have a rule about Christmas, and Imma just put this out there for everybody that ever may know me in my future. There are 2 things you should never get for a holiday, like for
What's that?
Christmas. Cleaning supplies or household necessities.
Like a toaster?
And yeah, well, no, like groceries. And I
Oh,
know that as adults, we're like, oh, that would be great actually if somebody got me some groceries for Christmas. But I'm talking about like your significant other. Y'all know y'all got to buy groceries.
no. Wait a minute.
But,
You got groceries for Christmas?
and a vacuum cleaner.
Did they wrap it? Like, did they really spend time to wrap the groceries? They
No,
was like, huh, your Christmas presents is groceries, look in the cabinet?
no, it was literally like them walking in first thing in the morning with a bunch of groceries and a vacuum cleaner and throwing it on the floor and saying Merry Christmas and then leaving.
Wow.
But, that's when you're in bad relationships, things like that happen, guys, all the time.
Yeah.
However, those are your hints because I grew up in a family where that was a rule. Like you don't get each other cleaning supplies for Christmas. Because and I was only a rule and it only came out of the rule as a rule because my mom is like really hard to shop for. Like really hard to shop for. You had to
Well, that's
like
why you get
find
gift
out.
cards.
Right, right. But back then, gift cards weren't, when we were little, gift cards weren't as big as they are now. Like you had to actually put in a lot of work to get a gift card back then. Um, like when we were little. And so like we would be like, well, what does she want? Of course, we would buy my mom BS stuff. We would like go to the flea market and we buy something that said number one mom and things like that to give to her. But and just so everyone knows who's streaming right now, I only keep looking down because we're getting comments on our Facebook and I want to make sure I circle back to that. So, but so my mom was really hard to shop for because she's super OCD, which is lovely. I love that about her as a person now. I hated it growing up. But she's super OCD and all she did was read and polish her nails.
Hmm.
So we were like, well, what do you get somebody that only reads and polishes their nails? And, we would be like, well, should we get her a book? And my dad would be like, well, she's not going to like that book. And so we went and get her books. And it has got to a point where we're like, what do we buy her? Can we buy her cleaning supplies? And my dad was like, no, you can never get a lady cleaning supplies. So
Not
that's
for
where the rule
Christmas.
stemmed from.
Yeah,
Right.
that would suck.
So we
Like, you can
have
buy
someone
cleaning
named
supplies
Jamal
from the.
Edmonds in our comments.
Oh, okay.
And he said that his favorite gift was a Hess truck. Do y'all remember those Hess
Oh,
trucks?
yes. He's bringing back memories. Yes. They used to be at
And I
the
really
7-Elevens or
yes,
the
yes,
yes.
yeah. Listen, those things are worth so much money now. Listen, your daddy should have told
Yes.
him not to open his box neither.
Not over his Hess truck. I remember
Right.
that.
Them things are worth so much money now. And then he
Hell
said his least
yeah.
favorite gift was canned food. I don't know who gave that poor boy canned food for Christmas, but that was dirty. I think I know
I
who it
hope it
was, but
wasn't
I'm
no
not gonna say nothing. You hope it wasn't what?
I said I hope it wasn't canned meat.
I don't I don't know if he's still watching or not, so maybe he'll give us an answer here in a second. Could you imagine? You know how mad I would be if I opened a gift and it felt a little bit heavy and I opened it up and it was some spam? Like I would be upset, man. Whew. Sorry, y'all. I'm
Yes,
um
tell us
I'm
that.
still fighting whatever's going on. But listen, if you gave me some spam for Christmas, I need you to know that you will never be invited to my Christmas party again. Because I'm one of those
Never.
all outers. I don't know if y'all could tell, like I got snowflakes around my eyes.
Yeah, they pretty.
I went thanks. But I got my Snotorious shirt on.
Yes.
I I
I
like
was
to go
commenting
all
on
out
that
and do
earlier.
those
I
things.
like it.
So so he has not responded. He may not be watching anymore. We'll find out. But Jamal, if you do happen to come back on the Facebook Live, inquiring minds would like to know what kind of canned food you received so that we can determine whether or not it is Christmas worthy. Because there are some canned foods that could be Christmas worthy. I just want to put that out there. Like, I don't know, like pear halves. I might could do something with that on Christmas. I
I was
really
about
like
to
my
say,
pear halves.
what
So
would be a good Christmas gift that comes in a can?
I mean, I don't. Besides pear halves, I don't really.
I'm thinking like, what do I want in a can that's for a Christmas present that I would actually be like,
I know I'm
yay,
trying to
thank
think
you
of
so
all the
much.
canned. Maybe canned sugar cookies.
Is that a thing? I don't- oh my god.
Listen,
Oh
if
my
it's not a
god.
thing, we just made it live here on December 23rd at 11:40 p.m. We have already copyrighted that. Nobody can steal that. We're going to make canned sugar cookies.
Delish. It started now.
We're going to make sure Sheena gets some sugar cookies next year. We're going to ship them out tomorrow.
In the can.
Oh, let's see. All right. So he did come back on and he said that what he got was like boxed mac and cheese, some canned veggies, and cranberry sauce.
He can't even
Okay,
make the
Jamal
meal.
Edmonds, we need to know who gave you this Christmas gift because we're gonna blast them on our podcast, sir. We about to blast them. I don't care who it is. Tell me the name because I'm gonna
Right.
blast them. I'm gonna
Don't
put it
get
all on the
nobody.
internet. We're gonna tell everybody. Y'all don't take no Christmas gifts from this person.
Right. Because if you're going to give somebody food for Christmas, at least make them a meal. Like, you can't even put none of that
Right.
together.
Listen, and all you got to do is tell me to pull up. If you made me a plate for Christmas, that's all I need. I'm gonna pull up and get it.
Right. For real, especially if it's some favorite, like some ribs or something. And some mac and cheese.
Right? Yeah, I will pull up for a plate. I'm not pulling up for you to give me no dang. Oh, so okay, so Mr.
Cranberry
Edmonds in the
sauce.
comments just laughed. He just laughed. He not fixing to give up the name. He don't want us to tell nobody. So that means it was either a very close family member or an ex-girlfriend that he don't want me to know that I can't say on the podcast because he knows I'll call him out.
Right. Shenanigans. The crappy ass Christmas gift.
Listen, and I just want to say, just in case this was one of those moments where your dad was teaching him a lesson, I just want to say that I am very upset with your father if it was him. So if it was him,
Right.
we need to discuss that on another time.
Right.
I'm gonna mail him some
Christmas
canned
presents
goods
daddy shouldn't
for his
give.
birthday. I'm gonna mail him back the same canned goods. We find out.
Right. No, I'll mail him some canned goods that's expired.
Girl, you know that don't phase that man.
Not at all. He probably put it on the shelf.
The shelf. Listen, I be calling that place, that part of the house, Narnia. Because it just goes forever and ever and ever. It's like a secret world.
You know, it doesn't exist no
All
more.
right. What happened to it?
He got rid of all of it, the whole shelf.
What, he sell it to gypsies or something?
Nope, he got rid of the whole shelf. And guess who had to go through all those cans and see and read dates?
Either you or Adam.
You know Adam wasn't doing it.
I know. That's why I laughed when I said that. Because I knew it wasn't Adam. I just wanted to give you an alternative to say it wasn't you.
Who wasn't Adam? Adam be like, I ain't got time for this. Y'all doing too much.
Okay, so I'm looking at, just so y'all know, I have this random. Oh wow, my phone looks pretty cool in the, can't even
I
see it.
know.
Okay. So I am looking up all of the things that I was looking at earlier were all the strange, crazy traditions. Like, for instance, in Ukraine for Christmas, they decorate all the trees with spider webs, like
Oh,
fake
that's
spider webs.
weird.
Um, Instead of like putting Christmas decorations on their Christmas trees, they decorate their Christmas trees with these spider webs. Um, and I didn't really get into exactly why they do that, but in the Ukraine, this is kind of weird. Also, grown-ups place a pickle in the Christmas tree before they start to decorate it.
What?
But it doesn't tell me why they do that either. So they might
No.
not be telling us why they do these traditions, but they do them. They also, like Norwegians, hide their brooms on Christmas Eve because it's said that the day before Christmas, people across the country, like, it's bad luck if your broom gets stolen or lost on Christmas Day. So the day before Christmas, they all hide their brooms until the day after.
That's so weird.
And I just don't know if maybe we're weird. Maybe it's us.
I don't know.
Um,
No, it's not us. It's definitely not us because I don't know. That is not okay.
oh man, in South Africa on Christmas Eve, they fry caterpillars and eat them.
Oh my God.
Um, okay. Um, so goat on fire is something that accidentally became a custom. So what it is in Sweden they have the Yule goat, which they decorate this goat every year, and then one year the goat caught on fire,
No.
and from that year forward they have set it on fire. So it was more or less an accidental tradition.
I
Um,
was just
I
about to
think
say
it's
that tradition just stumbled up upon them by accident.
Well, this is strange too. In Switzerland, they do a Santa Claus championship.
What is that?
Teams dressed up as Santa Claus battle each other to see who's the annual Santa Claus World Championship holder.
What were they fighting each other?
Yeah,
Oh, that's so weird. Oh my God. Like, what? Who thinks of this stuff?
I don't know, but
Like,
could you imagine being a kid and showing up and there being 300 Santa Clauses fist fighting?
no. Okay, so, all right, going back to your first question, the history of Christmas, it's like, okay, growing up, you know that Christmas was a celebration with the birth of Christ, right? So, how did we get
Right.
from that to all of this weird Santa Claus traditions? And it's so out of pocket. Like, and that's one of the reasons why I really don't fall into Christmas because you're getting all the way away from the root of why we even celebrate Christmas in the first place. Christmas is not Christmas. It's all this other man-made traditions that people want to just start and keep on going because that's what they feel they need to do.
But isn't that kind of what every holiday is? I think me and you talked about this around Halloween because we were talking about how everything has become so commercialized
Yeah,
that it's more or less it's done. Like, Christmas isn't supposed to be, and that's actually how I wanted to end our podcast anyway. So this is a perfect conversation for right now, because Christmas is not supposed to be about the best toy that's out or the next new electronic or the new iPhone. It's not supposed to be about what someone can give you or provide you. Christmas is
right.
supposed to be about spending time with your loved ones and remembering, you know, that Christ was born, that that we owe our lives to an entity. And I think that's a lot of where Saint Nick came from. I mean, I know Saint Nick was a real person, but I think that's a lot of where the Santa Claus stuff comes from, is having something else for children or people to believe in that they can't see, that provides them good faith and belief, you know? And but it turned into such a commercialized thing, because I know people that had traditions growing up where every year for Christmas they would get a new pair of shoes and school supplies. And she was one of the happiest people that I met, because to her, Christmas wasn't about that. Christmas was about spending time with her family and seeing family she hadn't seen for a long time, and enjoying, the time off of work, away from the hustle and bustle of school, to live her life. And that's really what Christmas is supposed to be, but it's become so commercialized that your neighbors are rude. People are fighting about over whose lights look better on the house. Um, I'm not really a Scrooge, but the flip side of that is I definitely, like, I didn't decorate my house this year. I have a lot going on in my, outside life, that I didn't take the time to decorate or anything like that. But the flip side is I still will get up on Christmas Eve and go bake with my mom, and you know we'll probably watch The Grinch at some point, and Christmas morning, we'll still have Christmas dinner and things like that. But
Yeah, you do the things that that brings you together for your family, but you don't feed into all
right,
the extra stuff.
I'm never gonna be like, you're never gonna find me at the Macy's Day Parade.
Never.
That's my mom watches it every year, and I think it's beautiful that she does that, and she watches it and she loves it, and I think it's great. And my mom loves Christmas music, and I love those things for her, but I'm not the person that's going to decorate my house all out, and unless I'm hosting something. If I'm hosting something, of course I'll decorate. Of course I'll make it look Christmassy. But I didn't host anything here this year, so I didn't feel the need to decorate.
Girl,
Um
I'm never
I'm
decorating again. And never again will I decorate because guess what? Who got to take that stuff down? Me. And I don't feel like doing it.
So, and that's why maybe you should just like move to certain areas, because, I frequented and practically grew up. I mean, I didn't grow up in them, but once I was old enough to move out, I think I moved out when I remember when I was 17, I lived in a trailer park. And all of my neighbors had their Christmas lights up year round. So if you would just move into a trailer park, Sheena, you don't have to ever take
I
your Christmas lights down. And you can even turn them on at night, so it's easier to walk to your mailbox, because that's what all my neighbors did. So it's perfect. Like, and I'm sure that most of them probably left their tree up too. They just like put it in the closet or something during that time.
Yeah, because it was fake and
So we'll
folded
just
up.
get you a tree closet, and we'll just leave your lights up, and you'll be good. I mean, who's gonna say something? Who's gonna know? And if they're
Nobody.
that close to your house to know, like, sir, get off my property, that's harassment,
Right. Leave
so
my Christmas lights alone in July.
listen, I'm really mad that I just thought back. My ADHD just told me that I did some weird robot dance just now, and I forgot that we're live. So now I have a random robot in our Christmas special episode. So hope everyone enjoyed the robot move. I was trying to
Yeah.
save that for the New Year's special, man. Darn, now I gotta think of a new dance for the New Year's special. I'm gonna have to like break out
Right.
some, maybe I can learn Kid and Play before then. I'm lying, y'all. I can't do no Kid and Play.
No, me neither.
Um,
I'm not that coordinated.
my balance is too right. My balance is too messed up for that. Um, so the reality of Christmas for today's world is very commercialized. And I don't want to say it's necessarily a bad thing. I will say that Christmas time brings out the meanness in people, but I watch more people be humbled each Christmas that goes by than I've seen in a long time. Not everybody out here can afford luxury and lavish items. I'm not that person at all.
Mhm.
So if you show up at my house, with a hug in hand, that's enough for me. All I ask is
Okay.
that you show up.
Spend the
That's
time.
kind of who I am. Right, play
Yeah.
a game with me. Like let's play some Uno or some
Right. That's
Monopoly
where I'm
or
at now because I experienced so much tragedy in my past. Like, if you had the time, I accept your time. You don't have to give me a physical gift. Like, just come spend your time. Let's make memories because that's what counts. Because God forbid,
right.
like anything happens and one of us doesn't wake up tomorrow, you'll have the other person have those memories. Because you can't take nothing physical with you. So share those memories so you can have, at least you can leave behind memories.
And listen, and take those pictures and do that goofy dance with your cousins in the middle of the yard because you
Yeah.
never know. Next Christmas, your cousins might not be there. Take the stupid family picture that your parents ask you to take with your siblings cuz you never know when your siblings won't be able to make it, or should, God forbid, something horrible happen to them and you never get to see them again. Those little moments that people forget about or walk past, those are the little things that I personally like. That's what I treasure. I don't
Right.
need I don't need all your money. I don't need you to bring nothing. You just show up, you laugh with me, you eat with me, and
Yeah.
let's just make a memory to remember.
Right.
Um and I don't know how we get the rest of the world to be like that again. Like maybe we can take out like Christmas stockings, or maybe we tell kids that they have to buy their own Christmas gifts because they don't have jobs, so they don't have any money. So we
Right.
don't got to
That
worry
part.
about them getting them. Um but I wish there was a way to teach people younger the real meaning of Christmas before it's too
Right.
late, because what it does is it creates a lot of really tired, really stressed out adults. And
Mhm.
there's that obligation, especially if you were a kid that like got everything you wanted every Christmas. Could you imagine growing up with the mentality like, okay, I got everything I wanted every Christmas, so now as an adult I have to buy everything that everybody wants for them because you grew up
Right.
getting everything? How much pressure is that on someone?
That's why I didn't feed into all of that because, like I said, I'm a realist and I'll put that on my son. Like, you don't go through life thinking things is all gravy. It's not.
So I completely agree. We have trying to see if there's any other comments on any of our platforms before we let y'all go. We are 3 minutes away from Christmas Eve. I
No.
really, 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 really hope that everyone has the best Christmas. And listen, I don't
Yes.
care if you didn't get anything or buy anything for anyone. If you make any attempt to at least be happy, give a hug to somebody, or reach out to someone you haven't been able to reach out to this year because you've been super busy, then in my opinion, you had an accomplished Christmas.
Exactly.
So don't let
I agree.
society tell you. Well, and hot cocoa. I just want to put that out
Yeah.
there. Listen, if nothing else fails, drink you a cup of hot cocoa. If you don't have no hot cocoa and you need some hot cocoa, you email me and I will mail you some hot cocoa. Because hot cocoa is just like a staple of Christmas. That's just my opinion, y'all. Y'all need to drink some hot cocoa.
Hmm. I like a
Um
little creamer in mine.
oh, that's actually really good. Like I remember my hot cocoa, it tastes really good like that.
Hmm.
Um I bet you'd be even better if I had some Christmas cookies to go with it, but Sheena
Oh,
already
you
gave
know
all hers
what?
away.
Right. All the kids at
Um,
school ate mine.
they probably loved every bite of it too. Listen, to all those kids out at Adams High School, if you enjoyed those Christmas cookies, you make sure you like our podcast, okay? It's the least you can do for
Right.
eating Sheena's cookies.
Right. I'm about to go buy some more for Christmas Eve. I'll pick up some more tomorrow.
Girl, you better avoid them stores tomorrow unless you have to go.
Oh, girl, I might just eat his cookies that you sent them.
Go ahead. You can have them. I said you could. But I will go ahead and we're going to go ahead and sign off of the podcast. We want everyone to have a safe and blessed Christmas Eve. And if you have if you need Sheena's P.O. box to send her some sugar cookies, just reach out to us. We'll give you her P.O. box.
Yeah.
She accepts them any time of year. Um,
I love sugar
and
cookies.
and if you don't do anything great for someone else over the next 24 hours, then do something great for yourself. And just remember that Christmas is meant to be a positive and
Mhm.
happy time to be around people. It's not meant to be this commercialized, crazy world that people have made it into be. Enjoy your family, stay safe, and try to have a Merry Christmas, y'all.
I agree wholeheartedly. Perfectly said.
And we got Christina Robinson and Jamal Edmonds both said Merry Christmas to us. Merry Christmas to y'all too.
Merry Christmas.
So y'all have a great, great Christmas, and we will see you next Saturday for our New Year's special.
Yes.
All right. Two people,
Two people,
two
two
opinions,
opinions. Real talk.
real talk.